Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm not sure whether we've started. I think we have now. It's good to see you. This is our next episode of Parenting in a Pandemic, and I want to talk to you today about encouraging positive relationships. This follows on from my previous broadcast when I talked about stopping bad habits in relationships by just thinking about how we do these four things, the bad habits we do without even thinking, and how they can wear our partners down, put stress on our relationships, and so on. If you want to find out more information about these, then do look up my previous Parenting in a Pandemic episode, and you'll be able to pick up on that. So that's stopping bad habits, but today I want to talk about starting some good habits. So I'm going to talk about those in a minute, but before I do, I'd just like to remind you that all these things come from the Care for the Family resources that we use at Salway and many other people use. If you're interested in getting onto one of our parenting courses or couple events, then do contact us through our Facebook page or through our website, and we will be happy to bear you in mind and get in touch with you when all this is over and we can actually run some courses. If you live further away from Woodford, it is a UK-wide organisation, and there are facilitators all over the country. So you can go onto the Care for the Family website and find out where a course or event is running locally to yourself. It's worth saying that Care for the Family website has lots of great information for parents. That's parents who are parenting in a variety of situations, whether you're a single parent, whether you live with your co-parent, whether you're fostering or adopting, or have various other particular parenting needs. They also help parents who have lost their partner through bereavement, parents who have lost children, and they also support the couple relationship. So lots there for you to look at. What I'm talking about today, building up good habits in relationships. We run this in lots of our couples information and also in our parenting courses, because it's absolutely fantastic information. It's dynamite. And it helps you not only with your co-parent or partner, but it also helps you understand and relate better to your children. But equally, it's transferable. It can work in the workplace. It can help you tap into your parents in a more effective way and just strengthen your bond there. And it can work in friendship groups. So this is really valuable information. And what I'm going to share with you today comes from Dr. Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Languages of Love. He's written some various variations. So there's one about with the 5 languages of love with regards to children, and various others. But it's all essentially the same information, and we'll think about how we can adapt it as we go through and how it's of use. So, the 5 languages of love. We all have a preferred way in which we both give and receive love. Particular ways in which people can communicate with us that makes us feel loved and appreciated. And I'm going to tell you what those are, and we're going to run through them and just see how that they happen in sort of real life. So, oh dear, I'm no good at this. Here are the 5 languages of love: time, words, gifts, touch, and actions. Okay, so let's go through them. Time. It's taken me a very long time, an embarrassingly long time, to realize that this is one of my husband's love languages. He feels loved and appreciated when somebody stops what they're doing and devotes some quality time to him. So in normal circumstances, that would be setting a day aside for a date day, or suggesting that we go out for our daily exercise together and just have some time when we can be together to chat and completely set aside time for him. People who think that or feel that time is their primary language of love feel neglected or hurt when we don't take time out to especially listen to them. If we just say, or in our minds we might say, oh, I don't have time for this now, I'm too busy, I'm too stressed. We all are. It's difficult to build in those times when we're at home all the time, which sounds crazy, but just one time, one duty blurs into the next, and these people can easily feel neglected in lockdown. When they feel neglected, of course, they will start to feel unloved, and then tensions may rise in the home. One thing I have discovered is that my husband does not feel that I'm giving him time when we sit down in the same room together at the end of the day. So if your partner is somebody who really cherishes a date night or a date day, and of course you're not able to sort of make those times, do make time to listen to them and to just give them your undivided attention. Because sitting together watching the TV at the end of the day, I have discovered to our cost that it doesn't count. To me, whose language of love is something else, it does count. So there you go. Learn from my mistake. The next one is words. I would say my love language, one of mine, is words. And that means that I feel valued and loved and appreciated by being given a compliment, being told I've done a good job, being affirmed in some way, whether that's by an encouraging comment or a note or an email that just says thanks or well done or you're great. And what I find is unhelpful or hurtful is when unkind words are said, when there's squabbling in the home. Even a harsh or sarcastic tone of voice takes a long time to leave me. Other people may find that hard to understand, that I don't just brush that off. But people like myself, for whom words is my language of love, or our language of love, we find that hard to get over. It seems crazy, but it's true. The next one is gifts. My youngest son, definitely his language of love is gifts. Now, that does not mean expensive presents, but it does mean remembering him by giving him small tokens. It can even be wrapping up something that I was going to buy him anyway, like he needs new socks. If I can just wrap them up and leave them on his lunch plate or breakfast place, then that's like a little gift, a little token. For some of us, it might just be, I've been growing these in the garden and I've cut some for you, or a little remembrance, buying their favourite biscuits for a treat with their coffee at some point in the week. little tokens and remembrances that are tangible. So obviously for people for whom gifts are important, forgetting particular moments of connection and celebration, like a birthday or an anniversary, or any little remembrance, that feels quite hurtful. Touch. Now, this is not grown-up touching. This is just a pat on the back, holding hands, a rub on the arm, giving hugs. I know that we see online that some of the pensioners who are self-isolating have said how much they miss hugging their family. And for those one or two that I've seen say that, I think their primary language of love must be touch, if that's what they're missing about their family so much. They're missing feeling loved in that way. So that's easy to understand how we can be hurtful just by not hugging, not giving that hug. Both my boys are quite huggy as well. One of them coming and hugging me all the time. He's not getting out to work. He's not having other things that make him feel valued, perhaps, and he needs extra hugs at the moment, even though he's 6'1", and he's not too big to need that loving touch. With children, even things like rough and tumble, or ruffling their hair, or all kinds of ways in which we can give our children that physical contact of encouragement, even that sort of play, holding their hands as they walk along. All these things help. And the last one is acts of service, or actions. This is something like doing a task for somebody, so making a nice meal. So for somebody for whom this is important, when you have a date night, it's not just saying let's go out for a walk, but perhaps making them a meal. That's how they know that they're loved. Doing some tasks around the home that they would otherwise do, doing the ironing, taking the bins out, cleaning the floors. If that's your partner and perhaps they usually clean the bathroom, if you clean the bathroom for them, they would be over the moon. So these people, obviously, for whom this is their primary language of love, if you do not do tasks, if you're lazy around the house and leave it all to them, they will feel very stressed, very undervalued, and very unloved. And you will find that they are really finding life stressful. So these 5 languages of love, as I've gone through them, perhaps you've been able to say, oh, yes, that one or those 2, I think they're mine. You might equally be able to identify your partner's language of love, or maybe one of your parents or your children. Now, here's the secret about languages of love. I love to be acknowledged and affirmed by positive words. And so I tend to automatically, without thinking about it, try and encourage and show love and care to other people in the same way. So when my son, even though he, as I say, is a big guy, when he unloads the dishwasher, I'll say, good boy, which he finds really irritating. He feels that's treating him like a baby. His language of love is, of course, gifts. And so, a really great thing to do would be to encourage him at the end of the week by saying, thank you for remembering to do chores. Here's even a Mars bar or something little would just show him. So what I need to do is to learn to speak in his language so that he feels appreciated. It's the same with each of us. Once we understand what somebody else's language is, we need to speak their language. At the moment, of course, we're all stuck in together and tensions are running high. You might find that you're trying to show support and it's not being appreciated as you would expect. It could be that you are talking in your own language of love and not your partner's or child's. It does take a little bit of work to identify what that might be, but it is worth the thought, because once you can speak in the right language, as it were, people understand what you're communicating, then you can, with a little bit of intentionality, smooth over or speak through some of the tensions that might arise, some of the stresses of feeling undervalued or underappreciated. It might sound silly, but as we always say, a small change can make a big difference. And you can't change other people's behavior, but if you change your own, you'll be surprised how people can react completely differently. So I encourage you to think about these things. I'll put up on Salway's Facebook page a post about the languages of love, about positive, sorry, never get the hang of that, positive ways in which you can express each of these languages of love, and things that people find hurtful under each one. So if you identify it, things to avoid doing. Okay, thank you for listening. Next time I'm going to be looking at a little bit of handling anger and frustration in the home and how we can just manage that a little bit better, some aspects of that. So have a good sunny afternoon and I'll see you soon.